Hello, everybody. How's it going? It's me, Krendor, and today I want to talk about some Seraphon. That's right. We got the Seraphon Warscrolls. Here they are. You can go to the Warhammer community website and download all of the Order Warscrolls today. So I'm going to do a video talking about some of my favorite Warscrolls. I don't want to go through the whole thing because there's a lot, but I've had access to these for quite a while now. In fact, I've actually gotten to play a game of 4th edition Age of Sigmar with Seraphon. I've played other factions too, but I've gotten to play one game with Seraphon. I've only gotten to play, I think, like 4 or 5 games of Sigmar 4th edition, but Seraphon was probably either my first or second favorite army that I played. So it was a lot of fun. And there's a lot to go through here. I mean, it's literally every unit in the army. You've got Lord Kroak, who I kind of like what they've done with the Slan and Lord Kroak. The Slan is more of like a support piece now, and Lord Kroak's a bit more of like an offensive caster, it feels like. So I ran a Slan in my game, and let me tell you, he's very good at casting spells, especially the new endless spells, but I had numerous chances to do the Celestial Reinforcement, which is pick a friendly Seraphon unit that started the battle with 3 or more models and it's been destroyed. Roll a dice on a 4-up, set up a replacement unit with half the number of models from the target unit, wholly within 12 and more than 9 inches from all enemies. So I failed this 2 times before finally getting it on turn 5 when it was completely useless. So that was cool. But aside from that, you know, the Slan is a 3-cast wizard. It's got a 6-up ward, and it's a Slan. If you need some casting, this is your guy. That or Lord Kroak, I guess. But yeah. So let me show you some of my favorite Warscrolls here as I scroll through. So Saurus Old Blood on Carnosaur, they've already showed off. He's much better. Now here we go. Let me introduce you to the Aggradons, who are actually phenomenal. So this is the Saurus Scar Veteran on Aggradon. He's got 10 move, 8 health, a 4-up save, 2 control. He's got 4 attacks, 3s/3s, 2 rend, 2 damage with +1 damage on the charge, so he's up to 3 damage. And then he's got his Aggradon Rending Bites and Striking Talons, 3 attacks, 4s/3s, 2 rend, 2 damage, and it's a companion attack. He also has Primal Rage, end of any turn. This unit must use this ability each turn. If this unit has used any fight abilities this turn, place a Rage token next to it to a max of 3. If it did not use any fight abilities this turn, remove the Rage tokens. Add 1 to the attack characteristic of this unit's companion weapons for each Rage token that it has until the end of the next turn. I'm gonna tell you right now, this is really good. It's real good. And then once per battle, he can pop a thing to place a Rage token next to this unit and each friendly Aggradon Lancer unit, wholly within 12 to a max of 3. So you can, you know, boost yourself up a little bit. But I mean, listen, even when you're up to like 5 attacks, 4s/3s, 2 rend, 2 damage, and then you also have the ability on the asterisms to give yourself crit 2 hits on your companion weapons, it gets pretty spicy. So what I ended up doing, is, well, I guess there's the Aggradon Lancers. So these aren't as heavy hitting on the spears and clubs, but still very good. They're pretty much the same, but they got 10 health, 5, 4, 2. And then their spears and clubs are 3 attacks, 3s/3s, 1 rend, 1 damage, but they get the +1 charge, so they're 2 damage, and then anti-monster rend 1, which is nice. And they still have 3 attacks, 4s/3s, 2 rend, 2 damage. So I ran a block of 6 of these, especially now that combat range is within 3 inches. And I'm going to tell you right now, these things can kill anything. These, I feel like every Seraphon list is going to have at least 1 unit of these. Like, these are genuinely insane. Like, not only are they tanky at 5 health apiece, but they just hit like a truck. Like, even with the Rending Bites and Striking Talons alone, especially if you have the crit 2 hits on it, like, it's insane. And then you're also getting the Primal Rage. So I mean, you're stacking up the Primal Rages on top of this. I mean, you're at one point, I mean, you're getting 6 attacks each on these. So like, if you're maxed out, 6 attacks, 4s/3s, 2 rend, 2 damage on top of your spears and clubs, which are also gonna be 2 damage if you charge. So, I mean, you just charge these things in and you just blow it up. I mean, like, if you have a pack of 6, you're doing what, like 36 attacks, 37 with the leader. No, you don't get leader attacks in that, but still 36 attacks with companion, and then you're still getting 3, 6, 9, 8, 19 attacks with the spears. Like it's nutty, man. Like these guys they're crazy. So big fan of the Aggradon Lancers. The Saurus Warriors are whatever. Saurus Guard, for some reason, just get an extra attack and are better, which is weird because they're the older models, so you would think it'd be the opposite. I don't know. Skink Starseer's still pretty solid. He actually had his range increased from 12 to 18 on the old ward turn off, which is nice. Because I remember trying to cast this back in the last edition, and you just had to get too close, so it was annoying. But now, being only 18 inches away instead of 12 is very nice. However, his Scry the Stars ability goes off on a 3-up instead of a 2-up now, which is kind of annoying because it is a once per battle. So, I mean, if you're going to up it to a 3-up, I feel like they should just let him pick a unit once per turn and give him a 5-up ward or something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to do, like, once per battle for the battle round on a 3-up. You just give ward. I don't know. I mean, it's still good. You're still giving out a 5-up ward, but it's just kind of a weirdly inconsistent type of thing. Skink Star Priest, changing up a little bit. So he used to give critical wounds, did a mortal wound in addition to damage, I believe. Now it's just on a 2+, the target's melee weapons have crit auto wound, which that's not including companion attacks, by the way. That's good to point out. But, I mean, this is good for something that's, I don't know, like a Carnosaur or just a heavy hitter where it's like 4s x 2s, right? And you're just giving it crit auto wound. Or actually, no, it's probably better for something that wounds. Well, actually, which one would it be better for? Because you're crit auto wound, so you're just trying to wound on 6s, so you auto wound and bypass the wound roll. So I guess if you're like 2s x 4s, that's good because then you don't have to roll the wound wall, the wound roll, right? So if you have a thing that doesn't wound very well, you could put this on it and get some wounds. I ran him and I ended up not really doing much with him. He summoned an endless spell and I didn't really get the crit auto wound off a lot because I got the units I kept putting it on were kind of either getting slam dunked or I was forgetting. Because I believe I put it on Kroxigors. So Raptidon Hunters, I didn't really run these. They seem a little more reliable with the Chargers now getting +1 damage on the charge. Why is this thing going so slow? Okay, hold on. We got the Hunters of Huanshi, which genuinely a pretty solid unit. I mean, they kind of do what they did before, where it's just you put them anywhere on the battlefield more than 9 inches from all enemy units, but these are perfect for just scoring battle tactics. Like, you just pop these guys out, and then you can't score it on the turn you're set up, but then your next turn, you're just like, oh, hey, you know, I got my chameleon skinks popping up all the way on the other side of the short edge of the battlefield, and then I'm on this side, so there's a battle tactic, right? So, I mean, they're really nice for that. And then on a 2+, subtract 1 from wound rolls for the target's combat attacks for the rest of the turn after you shoot at them with a dart pipe, or just, I guess you have to deal damage, but that makes sense. But that's pretty good too, especially, I guess it's 10-inch range, but you know, you could pop them up and shoot them and then charge them and, you know, be less likely to get killed. So, I mean, these guys are pretty solid. The Bola Boys, also kind of insane, because you could do the same thing with the Deep Strike, but these are roll a dice on a 3-up until the start of your next turn, subtract 1 from the number of dice rolled when making charge rolls for the target to a minimum of 1, and it's only, all you have to do is target them. It's just pick an enemy unit that was targeted by this unit's Starstone Bolas. It's pretty insane. Just being able to be like, hey, you, on a 3-up, you're -1 dice when you charge. So you're on average charging on like a 3 or a 4, right? That's pretty good. You're popping these guys up and then making it so you can get the charge instead of them. Which I mean, that could be pretty good because you can move your Aggradon Lancers. So let me give you an example. So you move your Aggradon Lancers up to, let's say, I don't know, 8 inches away, right? Or I guess maybe 9 inches away, depending on if they counter charge, because then you can pop in with the bolas, you hit them, and then they can only roll 1 die to charge, and then they move close to you, right? And then you redeploy. Well, actually, no, you can't charge if you redeploy. Dude, there's so many. Never mind. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm just like, you're probably better off just counter charging. So I mean, you have to. This is any shooting phase. So actually, you could set these up and then use the command ability to shoot in your opponent's shooting phase, and then you reduce their dice. Okay, never mind. I forgot that's a thing. I'm like talking this whole process out. So you could do that. So now, let's say they were 7 inches away, right? And now you pop up, and they can only roll 1 die. Well, guess what? They're not getting their charge now, and then it becomes the charge phase. They can't charge, and then you can counter charge them, and you're like, oh, hey, what's up? So that's a play you can do. However, it's going to take 3 command points to do that entire process, but that's pretty strong. So, see, the other unit I wanted to talk about is not Terrawings. I did run a Bastiladon. I ran the Ark of Sotek, and it did not do very well. I do like the Ark of Sotek any combat phase rampage, though, where you just pick 3 different enemies and get to potentially do mortal wounds to them. That's pretty nice. And then you do get I rolled pretty terribly for a lot of these. I'm not going to lie. That's why it didn't do as well. But to be fair, the Meteoric Javelins actually did some chip damage and did pretty well. But the Arc and the Tail did not do well in my game. However, on a 2+ save, you're looking pretty good, but I got mortal wounded, and it was a bad time. So, yeah, but I mean, Bastiladons are Bastiladons. They're pretty much still doing what they do. Honestly, I like the Solar Engine. I like the 18-inch range, 3 attacks, 3x3s, 2 rend, 3 damage with crit 2 hits. I mean, that's pretty good, especially because it seems that shooting is kind of weaker across the board. A lot of shooting ranges are down. A lot of shooting damage is down. So, I mean, being able to do some big chunk damage with, like, a heavy artillery piece like this is pretty nice. And then you can pick an enemy unit in combat, and then he does some mortal wounds. So if, like, he gets into infantry, he just, like, swipes his tail, which is pretty cool. But he does not want to get into melee because he wants to shoot, and he cannot shoot his good weapon in combat. He can only shoot shitty javelins in combat. So don't get into combat with him. Pterodons can now drop their cargo more frequently instead of once per battle, so that's pretty cool. Still got the Blot Toad. But I want to talk about... Hold on, we're almost there. Here it is, the Engine of the Gods. Maybe my favorite War Scroll in this whole thing, because I used to love running the Engine of the Gods. I thought it was a lot of fun, and then last edition, it was complete trash garbage that was dumb. And now, I'm not gonna lie, I think I'd rather run an engine than a slan, depending on what you're doing. If you really want to go magic and get some magic in there, that's cool. But, like, the engine is just, it's really good. Like, so not only is it pretty decently tanky at 14 health, 4-up save, right? It's got a decent melee profile, 6 attacks, 4s/2s, 1 rend, 2 damage with +1 damage on the charge. So, I mean, 4s/2s, 1 rend, 3 damage with 6s hit twice potentially there, if you got that asterism going. But that's not why you take this. You take this because of the Cosmic Engine. So, pick if this unit will harness or reserve power of its Cosmic Engine. If it'll reserve power, you get a power token. It will harness the power, roll a dice, and add the number of Cosmic Power tokens this unit has to the roll. Then remove all Cosmic Power tokens this unit has, and pick one of the following effects if possible. Healing Light. On a 3-up, you can heal D3 all friendly Seraphon units wholly within 12. That's pretty good. On a 5+, you can pick up the 3 friendly Seraphon units wholly within 12 of this unit. Return 1 slain model to each unit. That's pretty good. On a 6+, you can pick up to 3 Seraphon units wholly within 12, and they have first strike. It's pretty good. So the reason I love this thing is, like, all I did was I had my engine sitting there behind my big block of Aggradon dudes that just want to charge in and blow stuff up, right? And then I had Kroxigor, right? I had 2 Kroxigors on each side. So I push them in, and then your enemy has to, like, get hit by them or charge into them or just has to get stuck into combat with them. And you keep the engine, like, just outside of the range, so it's still wholly within 12, right? And then your enemy's just, like, fighting and just like, all right, you know, I chipped away 2 Aggradon Lancers, I killed a Kroxigor here, I killed a Kroxigor there, and then you just go like, oh, hey, I'm gonna pop my engine. Kroxigor's back, Aggradon Lancer's back. Oh, I'm gonna rally. And the other Aggradon Lancer's back. Like, I think people are underestimating how insanely powerful this thing is. And even if you don't get that, let's say you're still, like, you know, maybe you're a little banged up or something, you just pop the heal, and it's like, oh, now they're all full health. Or you're like, hey, you know what? You chose to not charge into me. I'm going to pop strike first, and now all of my hard-hitting units are going to strike first and just beat you up, and then we don't have to restore models because you're dead. Like, and you can run multiple engines. So, like, this is just a monster. It's not a hero. So, I mean, you could have 2 engines just, like, sitting here and here, like, kind of bringing in 2 units, and then one pops its thing, and it's like, up, restore models. The other pops its thing, up, restore model. And you're just, like, restoring all these models. You're first striking. You're healing. Like, I hit the point where I was like, I'd rather just have another engine than a Slan. Like, it depends on the list you're running, right? But, I mean, if I'm doing Aggradon Lancers and Kroxigors, I would take engines over Slans at this point. So yeah, yeah, that's just how I felt from playing. The Saurus Astrolith Bearer he's all right. You definitely don't need to take him anymore, but he's still all right. He'll add 3 to control scores of friendly Seraphon units, wholly within 12 of this unit for the rest of the turn, which, if a spell is cast near him, which is very good. Like, if you have a few units on a point, you're adding like 9-12 points of control score. And then on top of that, that's him, and he's 5 control score. So, I mean, he makes it so you can just easily control some points. And then friendly Seraphon infantry have a ward of 6+ while they're wholly within 12 of him. And if it has a 6-up ward already as a 5+, that's pretty nice too. So, I mean, he's all right. You know, I can see him being in some lists, but it's nice because he no longer feels like he's a must-take type of unit. You know what I mean? And then we have Kroxigors, which I love Kroxigors. So 6 health, up from 4, which is very good. I mean, people have already seen Kroxigors already from various things, so I'm not going to go like fully into them, but I will say they're actually playable and they're very fun now. I loved playing with my Kroxigors. They were really good, and they hurt depending on which one you got. If you got the anti-monster, anti-infantry, you just send them in. I mean, I even had the Kroxigors that were anti-infantry fight not infantry, and they still hit pretty hard. I mean, when you're hitting 8 attacks, 4x2, 1 rend 2 damage, and then 4 attacks, 3x2, 1 rend 3 damage, like, you're still slapping. I mean, it's just, if you're hitting into infantry, you are really destroying them with the +1 damage and the rend. So I really love the Kroxigors. And honestly, I just really enjoyed playing Seraphon. But yeah, that's mainly what I played. I played Saurus, I played Kroxigors, I played the Aggradon Riders, I played the Aggradon Lancer. That's the same thing. I just said the same thing. A Slan, the Star Priest, and some other stuff. But the engine, and it was really fun. I enjoyed. I'm really happy that Seraphon is no longer like coalesced and the Starborn. Like, now it's just Seraphon. It's all one army. Thank God they don't have to balance 2 different things and manage. It's just, you can run whatever. And it's so nice just building a list like a normal army again. So I really enjoyed Seraphon. I'm excited to, you know, keep mixing and matching. I'm going to try out the Old Blood on Carnosaur, try out the other Carnosaur guy who's pretty much the same as he used to be, where he has the mortal wound thing at the end, so he kind of has a killing blow type of move. I'm trying to see, was he down here? I remember for some reason he's like way down here. I don't know why. Oh yeah, here he is. So he doesn't really have the buffs the Old Blood Incarnosaur has, but he does have the subtract 2 from control scores of enemy units while they're in combat with this unit, and then roll a number of dice equal to a number of damage points the target has. For each 5-up, inflict a mortal damage on the target, and that's only into heroes. So you're it's like a finishing blow, right? Like you just got into combat with a hero, you battled it out. He's got like 8 wounds taken, and he's down to like 2, and you're like, oh, time for mortal wounds, and you just roll it, and you're like, and you're dead. So this guy's just a really nice hero sniper type of unit. You know, run him around the battlefield, search for heroes you don't want him to have live, charge, and beat him up. So you do have to live in order for that to happen, but you know, he's still decently tanky. He's all right. The one thing I've really noticed is the new combat profiles. I genuinely enjoy the new combat profiles a lot. Like having 4x2s and you know, 4x4s and all these like things that nobody's used to, because everything used to just be on like 2x2s last edition. It's actually pretty fun, and I really like not having every single thing hit and wound or get mortal wounded or whatever. Like it really feels more like an actual battle is occurring. Like nothing just gets completely wiped off the table. Like they get stuck in combat. It feels like things are actually fighting and doing what their role is supposed to be. So I really enjoyed the games that I've played, and I really enjoyed the Seraphon game I played. So let me know what you think down in the comments section below. What are your favorite War Scrolls from Seraphon? Or just any of the other things. I'll probably talk about Skaven next, because I have played, I think, did I play 2 Skaven? Yeah, I might have played 2 Skaven games, but I'll talk about that tomorrow. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Okay? Okay. See ya.